Hi, welcome to Singles Pursuing Purpose, and I am Lemoy. I trust that you are doing good wherever you are joining me from today. I am super excited to share company with you. I don't take your company for granted. I'm so happy that you're able to stop by today. Again, I am just going to encourage you to help us get to 100 subscribers. And so don't leave today without subscribing if you have not done so as yet. And, tap that notification bell so that you can be notified when I have uploaded new videos. Give this video a like, a thumbs up. And don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know how you are enjoying it. And so we are still going to continue on our series of looking at low self esteem. Last week, or last video rather, we described what is self esteem, what is low self esteem, and the impact of low self esteem on an individual's life. And so in this video, we're going to be talking about the beginnings of low self-esteem, because nobody just go to bed, wake up tomorrow, and they have low self-esteem. It is something that happens over time, and so we want to go to the root cause of it. The last time we were here, we established that low self-esteem is actually having a general negative overall opinion of oneself. So, constantly seeing yourself in a negative light, constantly speaking things that are negative concerning yourself as a person. And so, today we are going to be looking at the model of low self esteem beginning. You would have seen on that diagram is that, low self esteem starts with negative early life experiences. Often, the belief that we have about ourselves, our conclusion we arrived at based on what has happened in our early lives. So, some of these things that you're struggling with today as an adult or as a teenager, it could have its root in childhood. Maybe some negative words were spoken over your life, maybe at school. Maybe a teacher said something negative to you. Maybe one of your peers said something negative about you. Maybe a family member could have said something about you. And as a result of that, it influenced your thoughts and beliefs concerning yourself. So if we arrive at the very negative thoughts and beliefs about ourselves, it is likely that we have experienced a variety of negative experiences that may have contributed to where we are now. Maybe it could be a punishment that we have received. Maybe as a child you were neglected, or maybe you have experienced abuse. Maybe you had difficulty meeting the standards and the expectations that your parents have established. And as a result of that, you feel as though, you know what, I am never good enough. I never felt as though I had their approval. I never felt as though, I was affirmed as a child. Maybe not fitting in at home or school. Maybe it's a case that you weren't able to have all those other good things that maybe your peers had. Maybe you didn't have the new bag, you didn't have the new shoes, maybe you didn't have the new clothes. And so you measured yourself, or you compared yourself to your peers or the established group standard. Maybe your family, the place of your family in society. Maybe your family was known in the community as not having resources. That could also impact how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself. In addition, negative experiences as an adult, such as abuse, prolonged stress, or traumas, can also influence our beliefs about ourselves. some of the experiences that you may have had in your time as an adult, it could result in you having those negative core beliefs that you hold as truth, and you're using those to measure yourself on a daily basis. So, when we talk about a self esteem, negative early life experiences is at the root cause of that. So, think about it. Go back into your life and think about the negative experiences that you may have had, or the things that happened in your life that impacted you in a negative way. Sometimes we have to confront our fears, and sometimes for us to move forward, we have to take a step back into the past and analyze what went wrong, what occurred, and how can that be fixed. So, looking at your negative um, life experiences. Then we want to talk about the negative core beliefs. So we have looked at the experiences, and so we're going to look at the negative core beliefs. Why we continue to experience low self esteem today, even when our current circumstances are different from those of the past, is as a result of those negative core beliefs that you have established. So, why is it now that you're an adult, but you're still thinking about what was said to you as a child? Maybe as a child, you were told that you're dumb. Maybe as a child, you were told that, I am not good enough. You're not good enough, or you're not going to make it. And here it is that you're now an adult. Maybe you are working. Maybe you are self sufficient in the sense that you're not reliant on anyone to take care of your basic needs. But those very words that were spoken over your life as a child is now having a negative impact on you. Guess why? Because you have allowed those words to become your core beliefs. You actually believed what was said to you. So, negative core beliefs are the conclusion about ourselves that we arrived at when we were children or adolescents, or as a result of negative experiences that we may have had. So think about it. For example, as a child, maybe you were punished and criticized, and you have come um, to hold the belief that I am worthless, I am bad. Maybe you failed a test and you have come to the conclusion that school is not for me. I will never be able to make it. I will never be able to get an education. So, because of those experiences that you have had, you have framed them in such a way that they are now part of you. So, they are what you go to. So, whereas someone would go towards the positive, you go to the negative, because that is what you have used to frame your experiences. So these thoughts are what we call negative core beliefs. The firmly held and strongly ingrained evaluation of our worth and value as a person, which often takes the form of I am stupid, I am not good enough, I am unattractive, I am ugly, I don't think that nobody will like me, I don't think I have what it takes to make it. I don't think they will even consider me for this job. I don't think I will ever be able to be promoted. And so these are the beliefs that we hold based on the experiences that we have had. And so here it is. We have our negative life experiences. We have our negative core beliefs that we have established. And now we are going to establish rules and assumptions that we live our lives by. So now let's talk about rules and assumptions. So to protect ourselves and to ensure that we keep on functioning, we begin to develop rules and assumptions for how we live our lives. And these rules and assumptions that we have established, they're really to guard us and to defend us from the truth of our negative core beliefs. So an individual who may hold the core belief that, I am worthless or I am unattractive, may develop rules to support that belief. I must please others, or I must not express my needs. And assumptions like, if only I do things perfectly, will people like me? And so you put these rules and assumption around your life really to enhance those negative core beliefs that you have established. And then we want to talk about the unhelpful behaviors. So the result of having these rules and assumption is that they will guide your behavior and largely determine what you do on a day-to-day basis. So, depending on the rules and assumption you have, you will try very hard to do everything perfectly. Do what it takes to please people, never assert yourself, and the list goes on. You could find yourself in a position that you don't try new things, you don't go for your goals, you don't go for your dreams, you don't go for your aspirations because of the rules and the assumptions that you have established for yourself. And so we have to ensure that we identify all these patterns that I've just gone through. So, the negative early life experiences, the negative core beliefs, what are those thoughts that you hold about yourself, and the rules and the assumptions that you have established, and the unhelpful behaviors that you have created. And then we talk about the dormant self esteem. I think I mentioned that in the video before that there are some individuals who are functional, they're walking around, and in our minds, we think that they have it together. But the fact of the matter is, they aren't. It's a facade. What this means is that on the surface, you feel fairly good about yourself if you are able to meet these rules and to live up to the standards you have set for yourself. However, there are disadvantages to following these rules and assumptions. Firstly, you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure so that you manage your self esteem and don't feel bad about yourself. I can't imagine what it feels like to put yourself in a position where you think that you need to do everything perfectly. Everything has to be perfectly. And if it's not perfectly, then my world is falling apart. Or I must do this so that I could make them like me. I must do this for them to think of me in this light. So you're putting yourself under, a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure that is unnecessary. Secondly, following your rules and assumptions keep your negative core beliefs intact because you never challenge or test them. And so, if you're holding on to the core belief that you're worthless, you have to challenge that belief. You have to challenge that belief. If you're holding on to the core belief that nobody likes me, you have to challenge that belief. What makes you think that way? Are you looking at the other facts that are around you? So your low self esteem is just lying dormant, waiting to be awakened by the slightest bump in the road. Have you ever seen individual, you think they have it together, and all of a sudden it's like they're having this total meltdown because something happened, that low self esteem that was dormant, something triggered it. And so it becomes important for us to, reflect, do some self reflection, identify those negative core beliefs that you have about yourself, and challenge those beliefs. And so it is going to be very important that you challenge the negative core beliefs, and you're also going to challenge those unhelpful rules and assumptions that you have created for yourself. And not only that, the behavior is important. And so you challenge all these four things that I've made mention of. Four, I think: the core beliefs, the unhelpful rules, the assumptions, and the behaviors. You have to challenge all of these. I know sometimes that the one of the scariest things is to confront our fears. But for us to move on, for us to move forward, we will have to do so. So if you're struggling with low self-esteem and you're trying to take the necessary steps to correct it, I want you to know that it's going to take work, it's going to take progress. And so don't give up. Don't give up. You're not alone. There are so many individuals who are out there, struggling, and they're thriving daily to deal with it. And I am here to support you in any way I can. Feel free to reach out to me. You could send me a comment. If you want to talk to me on a personal level, you are at liberty to do so. I would be more than happy to support you on your journey to healing and wholeness. And just to remind you that if you have not gotten a copy of my book, The Unknown Painter, that's right over here in the background, I want you to go out today, grab a copy, gift a child today, help a child to begin to develop their talents or to identify their talents. And so I trust that today was a blessing to you. And don't leave without subscribing or sharing this video with someone who may be in need of encouragement. So until we meet again, walk good.